Hello everyone and welcome to episode 110 of the WMMA 5 series here on the channel. It's Pride FC with their American Bushido 18 card. It's BJ Penn, it's Joe Stevenson. It's a main event as we have a good piece of mail here, as I think 16 pieces, yep, as we extended Alexi Olenek, Anderson Silva, Lokovoy, Vanov, and then Mitsuhiro Ishida has left Prestos, joined Crazy B. Elijah Harshberger, we extended him, which that might have been a mistake, but we'll see how he does as far as in his really next fight, really is what we're kind of hoping on. Because, yeah, he did beat Akira Kikuchi, but it's a very poor, rating there, and we'll see. we'll just see how he goes in his next fight. It's Katsuya No extended. We signed Dan Miller, so we have both Dan and Jim Miller, so that's cool. As Jessica Aguilar has joined the Millennium Jiu-Jitsu, as Jorge Masvidal has left American Top Team. Melvin Menhoff still wants that Chris Lieben rematch. And if for someone who wants that fight, and I want to say that fight, we set it up for Crowning of a Champion, Bushido in Beijing, which we'll talk about a little bit more in depth when that card is about to take place. Why that is a thing, because that is a new thing that's been added on the schedule. But I think Lieben is a, I don't know why I clicked on that, but I think Lieben is a minus 900 favorite going into that one. So if Melvin Manhoff wants that fight so bad, he can have it. As I forgot to delete that one, so it should be 15 pieces. Akira Kikuchi has left Mock Dojo, and Chris Lieben has left Ricardo Almeida Jiu-Jitsu. So Ryan Jensen has joined Team Link, and Akira Kikuchi, after leaving Team Mock Dojo, he has joined Takada Dojo. As that is the mail, and let's get this card underway here. As Joe Stevenson and BJ Penn are main, of course, but then we have Forrest Griffin and Amara Solioff in Amara Soliov's return and the co-main event, and we have a fun welterweight fight there in Jake Shields and Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez has been on a roll, and I'm excited to see what he does against Jake Shields. We got a heavyweight fight of Mark Kerr and Alexander Emelianenko, a couple of big-time heavyweights too, 255, 260. Some big fellas there, and then a lightweight battle as Kenny Florian takes on Joe Hurley. Then Seth Petrozelli, John Olaf Inimo is kicking off the show in two prelims. Chael Sonnen and Alex Schoonover, and then Takanori Sato and Ben Saunders, the other prelim fight. Just going to be a welterweight contest. As we'll take a look and see how the analytics look now. It's Joe Daddy Stevenson taking on the prodigy BJ Penn. First time that BJ Penn has made it or fifth time rather, as this is the fifth time BJ Penn has made it in a Pride event, third time for Joe Stevenson. Both fighters are world-ranked welterweights, which it doesn't matter because they're both fighting lightweights here. Stevenson is 6th, and BJ Penn is 21st. I mean, all of them back at Joe Daddy Stevenson. And BJ Penn obviously was the man in the lightweight division for a long, long time. He started off and in Pride FC 9-0, went on to win the whole damn thing, made his first defense, but then lost to Gilbert Melendez eventually. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, which is not great, as he's taking on guys like Josh Thompson, Gilbert Melendez in the rematch, which he lost. It hasn't really gone his way at BJ Penn, which is kind of accurate in how I would describe how BJ Penn's kind of career went as far as that goes. Because really, once the 2010s come around, he's definitely not the same BJ Penn that he was in the early and mid 2000s. That is for sure. But with Joe Stevenson, on the other hand, to look at the other side of the coin, sure, he is 17-4 and he's 1-1 in Pride FC. But he is definitely, I think, the favorite to win this one. I do have to agree with them as for that. As Joe Stevenson coming in off of a loss against Toby Amada, and then the rematch between those two from their UFC fight that happened in February. Then, of course, they had the quick rematch in September. So, having 3 fights in 1 year, definitely tough for Joe Stevenson. It is kind of funny that these guys are main eventing this card here, because they main evented UFC 80, which was in 2008, which kicked off 2008 for the UFC in real life. And it was for the vacant lightweight title, and Joe Stevenson lost that one to BJ Penn. So we'll see what happens here in this whole timeline as for that one. Should be pretty interesting. So then Forrest Griffin taking on Amar Solioff, as Solioff has finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. Soleaf is the 7th ranked middleweight in Pride of Sea, which is crazy to think about. Forrest Griffin is ranked 16th, even though Amar Soleaf hasn't won in 2 years. He's finally making his Pride of Sea debut after getting called up. He went on hiatus, and I think he's going to get crushed here. Forrest Griffin's got a significant weight advantage. Amar Soleaf, 16-3 though. He's got a kickboxing background, which is pretty unique for someone from Russia to not be like any type of sambo style or even the wrestler style, to just be a full-on kickboxer. It's pretty interesting, but I just don't see how he's going to get the win here. Forrest Griffin, I think, just a little bit more talented, as he's 13-2. His 2 losses coming against Vanderlei and Renzo Gracie back at Pride 25. Crazy to think he got choked out by Renzo Gracie in his debut, because he could very well have been 12-0 going into the fight with Vanderlei. There would have been a really, really good chance. Coming in off of beating Ice Cold Igor as well, Forrest Griffin has really just been the guy to take out maybe some of the middleweight guys that maybe don't belong there. And we'll see there with Omar Soleaf, who's it's just crazy to think he's ranked so high. As this should be an easy win for Forrest Griffin, but we'll definitely see. There's Jake Shields taking on Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, as Sanchez has won 4 of his last 5 fights by decision. Jake Shields is ranked 13th in the welterweight division in Pride of Sea. Diego Sanchez ranked 14th. Shields has a significant weight advantage in this fight, which will probably help him out a little bit once they are grappling. Diego's probably just a little bit more well-rounded, and I can see why the Blur Cat staff picks have went his way. He's coming in off a hot streak, too, winning 4 of his last 5. And, sure, he's lost to John Fitch and Sean Pearson, which both those were still back in the 2-round, 5-minute, format of Pride FC. So it should be interesting to see how it goes. Having a split decision win over Mike Pyle was a little interesting, but I think the sky's the limit for Diego Sanchez, that is for sure. But Jake Shields, coming in 19-7, 5-5 in Pride FC. He just beat Josh Koscheck, and he beat Sakuraba earlier in the year as well. Definitely, it's still crazy to me that him and Josh was actually a great fight back in April, because really stylistically, like a wrestler and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, there's a chance that would have been like a very poor fight, but it wasn't. And I think that's shout out to really that type, because they could have been like the John Fitch fight. It very much could have been that, but somehow it wasn't. And same thing with Drew Fickett as well. I think Diego's going to fish him, though. I do think that. But that's a fun fight, though, in the welterweight division, I think. As the Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr taking on Alexander Emelianenko, as Emelianenko's finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. Both are world-ranking super heavyweights. Kerr's 20th, Emelianenko's 22nd. It's close. It's very close. 4-3 on the Blur Cat stat picks. Emelianenko getting the slight advantage. Mark Kerr, I thought the renaissance was going to happen, after he came back. And he lost to Gilbert Yvel, though, but then, beat Tom Erickson, beat Ice Cold Eagle, and even beat Heath Herring, too. But then he had to run into Pete Williams, which it did take into the 3rd round for Pete to finish him, which is interesting for them. This is a great fight, though, I think, for Mark Kerr, and I think it's a great fight also for Alexander Emelianenko. He's been someone that's kind of been waiting for a shot. He was 5-1. Hasn't really taken on any big names. He knocked out Gary Goodrich May of this year. He's had pretty great performances so far. He lost to Gonzaga in his debut, which that's a pretty crazy fight, though, to have. Gabriel Gonzaga's a savage. That's a tough debut. It's just crazy. He lost to Ron Waterman as well, and in his 2nd ever fight in Pancrase. But he's definitely, I think, proven he belongs here, though, beating some pretty tough, on the fringe heavyweight guys. And this is a great opportunity for both guys to really prove that they can, for Mark Kerr's case, can still do it, and Alexander Emelianenko can beat some tough, veteran guys, and could get some better names thrown his way after this win, if he does get in the win over Mark Kerr. It's Kitten Florian taking on Joe Hurley here. Kitten Florian got the 5-inch reach in this one, which that will definitely give him a Blur Cat Stiffs picks advantage. But Joe Hurley has won 3 of his last 5 fights. They have been by decision, though. He's 3-2 in Pride FC, 18-6-1 as a whole, coming off a 2-fight losing streak to Ramiro Sato and Cristiano Marciello. He has beaten Jens Pulver, Carl Luna, though, but those are both split decision wins. He had a split draw, too, against Tetsuya Kawajiri at UFC 69. It's going to be interesting as far as how Kenny Florian is going to be able. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and be able to either keep it standing or even take him down with his jiu-jitsu, with like a Muay Thai, get him in the clinch, sweep the leg, and kind of take it from there. But he just came off a loss against Mac Danzig. Really, he hasn't had a fight in the last 3 of his last Pride FC fights. They've all have been finished in the first. So we could see a finish early on in this one. But I'm excited for this one. He's been able to throw a lot of different submissions. He's throwing a guillotine, he's throwing a bulldog choke, and he's throwing a rear naked choke at people. He can really get a win a lot of different ways. So it's crazy. He's taking on Gilbert Melendez in the past, and obviously Melendez is a savage, but he's beaten some names though. The Mac Danzig loss is tough, but I think he's going to be able to bounce back here against Joe Hurley. And Seth Petrozelli taking on the Viking John Olav Inabola, as Seth the Silverback Petrozelli, as he's won 3 of his last 5 fights by knockout. This is the first time they have fought, but listen, I mean, he is an absolute Viking in John Olav. I mean, he is huge. He's got the significant weight advantage. He's going to have the reach advantage as well, because I think, John Olav's going to probably tower of him. Yeah, he's about 6'6", Oslo, Norway. And, Seth Petrozelli, 6'2", I want to say. Yeah, so, I mean, normal size man, but when you got John Olav in there, I mean, he is a giant human being. Which, I mean, this should be a very exciting fight, though. I mean, it will, 14-6 for John Olav. He just lost to Heath Herring, though. He got knocked out with a knee. But, he's finished Valentino Varim in the past. Him and Alexei went the distance. I actually didn't do that well in the UFC. It was just kind of crazy. I lost twice by split decision in his last 2 UFC fights. But he's lost to Bobby Hoffman, too, in the past. That was back in Pancrase. But, yeah, this is a great opportunity for him to be able to really showcase, I think, his striking ability. Because Seth Petrozelli is definitely going to stand up with him. He's 2-0. He beat a guy who lost to, or that John Olav lost to, and Bobby Hoffman knocked him out to an 8-16 in the first at Pride FC Worldwide 17. So this is a great opportunity for both guys. And, I think this is a great, MMA math at its finest. You had a guy who's beaten someone who's lost to someone. That it just makes sense from a matchmaking perspective. And I would probably have to back John Olav there. So our prelims now, as Chael Sonnen and Alex Schoonover. Chael Sonnen, Alex Schoonover. Chael Sonnen hasn't won since September of 2006. Not going his way, the bad guy. It's not going his way. He lost to Stephan Bonner. He's lost to Ricardo Arona. 2 guys that, especially Ricardo Arona, if you're not beating him, it's really a good sign that you're not going to make it here. We probably should have kept him in rings for a little bit longer, because he's just not ready, And I honestly think if he loses this one, which he probably will, to Alex Schoonover, we'll probably be sending him down the rings, actually. Both guys are 0-2, though. They could desperately use a win. They both have lost to Stephan Bonner, too. And it's going to be nice for Alex Schoonover to get out of the tough 1 guys and to finally face somebody else. But he's beaten Ricardo Almeida, though, in the past, which was huge for him. But, yeah, I mean, this is a proven fight for both guys, that's for sure. In our first prelim fight, Takanori Sato against Killer B, Ben Saunders, as Takanori Sato having the Blurcast set picks 4-3. Slight advantage there. 5-2-1 for Takanori Sato, of course, 2-2-1 in Pride FC with the Dan Hardy draw then loss. He's beaten Matt Brown in the past. He's beaten Kaito Nakamura in the past. It's kind of tough to really gauge on how he's going to do in this welterweight division. He still has fought kind of like the prelim guys. And then Ben Saunders, of course, 8-6, 0-2. He's lost to Chad Saunders and Thiago Alves in the past. Back at Pride FC Worldwide 10-18. Both were main event by Ron Faircloth. Funny enough. And he's also lost to Josh Koscheck in the past. Yeah, this is, Jet Kwon Do and then Takanori Sato with the judo wrestling background, was probably looking to take him down to the ground and probably finish him off from there, if I had to be honest, as we'll see what happens. As they have -110, +100, pretty close on betting lines. Team Rascal for Takanori Sato, no team for Ben Saunders, Orlando, Florida. Akita, Japan, as 6'183", 6'3", 183. Big John McCarthy's referee, ringside judges, and Sato spins out the introductions, pacing around like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. What a description. As the fight begins, they touch gloves. There's Sato shooting him for the takedown. He's got it. That makes sense. As Fires away some elbows, but Saunders isn't taking any damage there. Attack does see Sato get pushed away, though, right out of the guard, so now he's standing. Oh, yeah, Sato's just going to let him stand up, so that's interesting. He's winning to throw his judo on display. As I say, Saunders connects with a nice jab and a high left kick to the side of the head. That was probably a bad idea for Takanori Sato to not keep him down there. This may have been setting up to shoot, but Saunders aggressively took the initiative there. There's a jab and then a straight left. I mean, Ben Saunders is really lighting him up here as now he fails upon him with his jab, but he hits a nice straight left hand to Saunders. Now he's working his way into a clinch. He's got a Muay Thai clinch now. Oh my. As there is a knee to the side of the face. I mean, Ben Saunders was not fucking around here. He's definitely proven that win. The Takanori Sato is still in the prelim level. But that's a huge win for Killer B. Saunders. Completely dominated him. After the first takedown, I was like, oh, that's probably going to be it for him. But pushed him up. Takanori Sato, for some reason, thought he could outstrike him. And he paid for it dearly in that one. That's a great win for Ben Saunders. Getting his first win in Pride FC. No team as well, as he thanks all of his sponsors and all of his fans. I mean, that's definitely going to put some of the teams on notice for sure. It's Chael Sonnen taking on Alex Schoonover in our last prelim fight. Westland, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada, 11-9, 10-6. Both guys haven't won in Pride FC yet. It's Alex Schoonover, the minus 330 favorite. It's from Body Shop Fitness, Muay Thai Dream Team for Chael Sonnen. That's crazy he's not a part of Team Quest. As we'll see what happens. Mark Goddard's the referee, ringside judges. Here we go. As Chael's going to ignore the offer to touch gloves. They clinch up. Chael Sonnen's the aggressor, trying to muscle up against the ropes now. Can't do it, though. He ends up being out-wrestled. Using his wrestling skills, Schoonover is able to push him against the ropes. He does so now. He's got a pin, looking for the trip. It's a nice inside leg trip. Let's see what Chael can do from the bottom. Yeah, well, he can't stop him. He's going from side to mount. Oh, my. He's already got mount, and he's looking for the armbar now, and he's got it. I mean, Alex Schoonover just making light work of Chael Sonnen, who's going to be 11-10. Yeah, he's going down the rings. Like, there's just... I mean, not even competitive. Not even. I mean, that ain't it. Because Alex Schoonover, he's definitely not like a top, like, prelim guy in the middleweight division. So that's not it. As Alex Schoonover gives a name check to everyone at Body Shop Fitness, all of his favorite sponsors, all of his friends, family, and supporters. It's our main event, Jesus Christ, our main portion of the show now. We're already here. It's crazy. We just now, we've just been zooming through it. Seems like a Seth Silverback Petrozelli taking on the Viking John Olaf. Ian Moaz, 11-6-1, no contest, 14-6. Fort Myers, Florida. Oslo, Norway, a long way from Norway is John Olaf. This fight card is being held in Hawaii. As this is going to be an interesting one. I'm very, very excited for this one. Aviani Combat Club for John Olaf. Reality self-defense for Seth Petrozelli. Kickboxer versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, but with that size advantage, you'd like to see him get some type of, just grappling advantage or even strike advantage. I'd be shocked if Seth Petrozelli knocks him out here, but he can do it. Can definitely do it. As Herb Dean's a referee, ringside judges, fight begins. As, oh boy, he's already moving behind 4 quick punches, and one of them lands home with a right hook. There's the takedown attempt. He's got it, though, and he's pulling single leg. Looking to pass, gets side control. He passes, but doesn't have enough time to secure it, so there's a scramble. Petrozelli ends up inside control on top of him. There's some right hands, as now Petrozelli blocks an attempt to pull guard. Fires away with punches, but doesn't little in the way of damage. Trying to pull guard on Petrozelli. Doesn't get in with the attempt, though. I can't believe Petrozelli's in control here on the bottom. Now he's trying to move him, but Petrozelli doesn't allow it again. Wow, this is a night for the underdog so far, as John is trying to pull guard, but it's not happening. As Petrozelli pounding with some right some more, trying to move the guard, trying to pound on John, but all the blows are completely dealt with again. As he throws a few strikes clear, slowing things down, though. Now there's a few punches. I'd love to see them get stood up here. There we go. As right on cue. Now John looking for the takedown. Can't complete it, though. Petrozelli just hopping on one foot. Drives the boot against the ropes, looking for the sweep down. He's got it. He's got the back, too. That's not great. Looking for the rear naked chokes. Probably going to have to get both hooks in if he's going to try to get this. Wow, but look at the scramble, though. He turns John around and now escapes his grip. They're both standing back to their feet. Seth Petrozelli's grappling is a lot better than I gave him credit for. As, yeah, I mean, that's great. As, now looking for another shot. But Petrozelli aggressively took the initiative. Can't hit the set up strikes, but it hits him with a straight right, though. Punch for Petrozelli. Fails the land. Just probably going to give him a... Oh, no. Just going to keep striking away. There's a left jab and a right roundhouse kick to the ribs. Yeah, looking confident now, shortening the range. even though John has the reach advantage, it does not matter here because Petrozelli is just putting on a striking display so far. There's a left jab, but nothing but air on the big right. Stevenson looking to unleash. There's a left hand, but misses the big right hand. Now Petrozelli's starting to get tired. There's a left jab, but the big right is evaded again. Looking for another takedown. He's left hopping on another leg. He's going to probably get a trip takedown to end out the round. Yes, he does. Sweeps the leg. He's got side control. There's some elbows, and Petrozelli turns up and gives up his back to desperately avoid the strikes now. There's some powerful shots to end out the round. That's a great statement piece for John Olav there. That's a tough one because, sure, Petrozelli did great as far as standing and even took control of the grapple there. I want to say kind of earlier, kind of middle part of the first round. But John was doing a really great job of doing some takedowns. He landed some big strikes towards the end. That's an interesting one. I would probably give it to Seth, though. I would probably give him that first round. But if you went with John, I don't blame you. And second round, Petrozelli connects with the jab. But John evades the big right as there's two-punch combination. As John, again, avoiding both of them. Still looking for an angle to get some type of takedown, but couldn't take the initiative. There's a landing. The left hand, but catches John with a crunching right hook. Moving confidently again, looking to throw some strikes. There's a left jab and a nice straight right hand that lands hard. And there is a jab followed by a crunching straight right to the jaw, and he knocks him out. Seth Petrozelli is nothing to fuck with, everyone. I mean, I thought this was going to be a great test for him. Get a grappler in there, a big, strong grappler, too. Guy that's got 20 pounds on him and has got a 5-inch reach advantage. Doesn't matter. Just fucking knocks him out in the second. Great job there from Seth Petrozelli. As thanks everyone connected to Reality Self-Defense for helping him prepare for the fight. His sponsor supporting him financially says he has a lot of respect for John Olav and praises his toughness. So our next fight, we got Kitty Kinflo Florian taking on Joe Hurley. 18-6 and 111-3. Minus 140 and minus 110 on the betting lines. Very, very close. Team Bomb Squad, Florian. No team for Hurley. Shoot fighting for Joe Hurley, his style. And Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu background for Kitty Florian. As Boston, Massachusetts, Walnut Creek, California. For Joe Hurley, rather, has both been in their 30s. We'll see what happens. Herb Dean's a referee. Ringside judges there. Fight begins. They touch gloves. There's a left hand from Hurley and a nice straight right hand. As Hurley looking to force the strike exchange here. There's a counter jab that misses, and there's a 1-2, but Florian was equal to it. As Florian warily circling, looking for that grappling, he needs to grab a hold of him. As there's a jab, but doesn't hit the body kick. There's a can't connect the sub strikes, but then hits it with a straight right. There's a punch, but Florian was equal to it, and there Florian is able to grab him, looks like, trying to muscle up against the ropes. He does so, looking for a trip. Doesn't happen, though. That's a great solid base from Joe Hurley. Can't get free, though. Looking for another trip. He's got it that time, though, as now he's left on his back under side control. Punches down on Hurley, trying to transition the guard. That's not happening. Looking for an Americana. That would have been cool, but doesn't allow it. Tries to pull guard on Florian, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Throws a few strikes off in him. Trying to move the guard, but Florian doesn't allow it. Fires off some punches. They aren't throwing any great force. Tries to pull guard on Florian, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. There's a few weak-looking punches as he decides his next move. Hurley tries to transition the guard, but he can't manage it. Now, referee's going to stand him back up. Probably went on a little too long there, but I could see Herb letting it go for a little minute or two longer than it should have. Exchange of blows comes and goes without either fighter really landing anything significant there. As the two fighters engage with strikes, nothing significant lands, though. Hurley doesn't trouble his opponent with a combination, ending with a low kick. And he ends up catching it as Florian, as he was ready for it, looking for that takedown. Doesn't happen, though, but he drives him up against the ropes, and he's going to get the trip. Nope. Doesn't happen the first time. We see the same thing again. No, doesn't get the takedown again, as Hurley blocks it, and now turns Florian up against the ropes. Get some separation. I mean, Joe Hurley really fighting here. I mean, this is great show and great outing for him so far in this first, as both fighters engage with strikes. Nothing significant lands, though. It's another punch that fails to land, so that gives Florian a chance to try and get something going again out of the clinch. There's a knee, and now look at him muscle him against the ropes. Can't do it, though. Another knee strike to the body. Trying to muscle up against the ropes again. This time he's got it to end out the second. As far as who won that one, I mean, Joe Hurley, he just did a great job of stuffing a lot of takedowns. Good for him, but just Florian, he did too much, you know. Joe, he had control for a little bit, but not a whole lot. It just wasn't enough, you know. It just, definitely Florian won the first. We'll see what happens in the second, as Hurley can't connect the step jab, but hits the straight right, though. There's a quick punch, doesn't land. Florian moves in fast and clinching up with him. There's another knee strike to the body, trying to put him against the ropes. He does so, looking for the trip. He's got him, too. There's a few right hands, mainly just trying to catch his breath. Florian just knows he's just got to keep control here, and he's going to win this round as well. It's going to be tough for Joe to win, as they just keep in control. Looking to pass half guard to get side control. He passes, but can't secure it, so there's a scramble. As Hurley mistakenly leaves his back exposed, so now Florian's got the back. Minute left. Both hooks hit. Could get the rear naked choke to end out the second, and he's saved by the bell. Wow. As, yeah, Joe, he's going to have to finish him at that rate. I mean, he definitely could have had him if it wasn't for the time. Florian's in a great spot. As there's some red marks on the body. Hurley has shown that the blows of the ribs have he's taken a lot. They stand and drain the center of the ring to start the third, but neither fighter can land a good shot. Hurley's starting to breathe a little heavier now. Moving forward constantly, trying to pressure him into an exchange of strikes. He's looking to get that knockout. It's the only way he's going to win this one. As he fails to land a combo, they end with an attempted roundhouse body kick. They meet in the center again. There's a jab, but can't hit the right cross. There's a pair of jabs, doesn't connect to the right hand. It's Florian. As Hurley isn't able to resist being pulled into a clinch by Florian. He's just tired here. Florian's a machine. Trying to wrestle him against the ropes. Got him up against the ropes. Looking for the Muay Thai clinch. That's not good. And he's got a knee to the chest, but doesn't have much behind it. Blocks the knee strike there. Now Florian's starting to slow down. As fatigue's still creeping in for Hurley. As there's a forced exchange of strikes. So there's a counter jab from Florian. Feint is bought entirely by Florian. Leave him wide open. As Hurley trying to get a combination started with, and then ended with a spin kick, but nothing's really happening. He's just too blown up at this point. 1-2, but Florian was equal to it. As Florian gets a hold of him without even taking one shot. Looking for the Muay Thai clinch again. He's got it. He doesn't going to have much power behind that, though. As he looks for it again, but this time the leverage allows Hurley to wrestle free of the clinch to end out the round. Your winner by unanimous decision will be Kenny Florian. As, yeah, Joe Hurley. Not a great outing for him. He's going to be 3-3. 3 straight losses. He's got one more left, you know, and we'll see what happens. Type of thing with him. But that's a great win for Kenny Florian. 12-3. Gives thanks. Kenny Florian praises his team at Team Bomb Squad. Is very responsible. All the fans who came out and support him. Says he has a lot of respect for Joe Hurley and praises his toughness, because there's a lot of tough, young kids in that lightweight division that are going to be a problem, and he'll probably have to face one of them. So the Smashing Machine Mark Kerr taking on Alexander Emelianenko. Another heavyweight fight here. So we got some big heavyweights here. 6'1", 260, 6'4", 255. St. Petersburg, Russia. Toledo, Ohio, 18-8-1. 9-3 rather. Sambo boxing, wrestling style for Mark Kerr. He does have the advantage though. Minus 150 on the betting lines, but I honestly would hedge my bet towards Emelianenko. I just think he's a fucking savage, and he's a little bit more well-rounded, but we have seen Mark Kerr get into the clinch and really throw some powerful knee strikes, and maybe we'll see the same thing here. Steven Vistian for Emelianenko, the Pit for Mark Kerr, as Mark Otter's a referee. Ringside judges here we go. They touch gloves. As Emelianenko can't hit the jab, he hits the beauty of a straight right, though. There's a punch, but Kerr avoids it. As Mark Kerr seizes that chance to get him in the clinch. There's some dirty boxing. Got him up against the ropes. Oh boy, let's see what happens. He's just going to smother him now. There's a couple of punches to the body and the side of the head. There's that Muay Thai clinch. Yeah, he has got to get out of there very, very quickly. There's a massive knee to the chest. Keeps the clinch despite missing the second one, though. Blocks it and wrestles his way out of it. That could have been bad if he would have hit him right in the face with that knee. As Emelianenko moves in closer now. Look at the throw some strikes again. There's another. Can't hit the setup left jab. It hits the nice straight right hand that lands hard. Again, missing the setup strikes, but he's landing the heavy shots. There's a right cross that lands hard. Throws a quick punches and hit it, though, and Kerr's able to clinch up with him, looking for a takedown. Wow, sweeps him after the. I think he had just had underhooks. That's what I think he had underhooks. So yeah, he's got no problem getting side control too. Some elbows, little in the way of actual damage though. Trying to transition the guard, that gets blocked. As he's just starting to slow things down. He knows he's pretty much in control this round if he keeps him down there. So he's just looking to stay there. Trying to move the guard, doesn't allow it though. Few weak-looking punches as he decides his next move. Trying to move the guard, Kerr doesn't allow it. There's some knee strikes to the ribs there. Some more knee strikes to the ribs. There's a few right hands. Takes a moment to plan ahead. There's some elbow strikes but fails to land anything significant. Trying to transition the guard, can't quite manage it though. There's some small strikes again. Clearly slowing things down so he can catch his breath. Pretty close. That's pretty quick, actually. They were only down there for about 2 minutes, and Mark Otter's already standing back up. I do like that. It's taking a few gulps of breath. Emelianenko's getting the first hit, and he's starting to tire already. That is not a great sign. As he fails to find him his jab, but he hits a crunching right hook, though, and there's a beautiful right uppercut that follows it up, and he knocks him out. Yeah, Emelianenko with a huge right uppercut that knocks out Mark Kerr. I thought that was going to be Mark's there after the, before the fight, obviously, we went with Emelianenko, which I'm glad we did. That would have been some easy money for us, but once he got him in that Muay Thai clinch, I thought that was it. I was like, man, he's going to knee him right in the face and knock him out. But he survived the storm. Was able to knock him out before the end of the first. That's a great win for Emelianenko, though, as he gives a name check to everyone at Team Avicii and all of his favorite sponsors, all of his friends, family, and supporters. Jake Shields taking on Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, 19-7, 12-2, San Francisco, California, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Both guys 5'11", both guys weighed in at 183. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, wrestling Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style for Diego Sanchez, Extreme Couture, Caesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, -110 for Diego Sanchez. This should be fun. This should be a lot of fun. Big John's our referee, ringside judges. As even though they weighed in the same, Jake Shields probably fighting around 190, maybe even 195. So round one begins. Neither fighter offers up a usual touch of gloves. They both come in with the same idea, though, and clinch up. Sanchez has a dominant position. There's a knee strike to the body. Tries to knee him again, but Shields defends that one well, and he gets caught with a knee strike to the body that time as they're trying to push him against the ropes. Manages to control him against the ropes, looking for a sweep, and he's got it. Beautiful move that gets side control of that, sends Jake Shields to the mat. There's a few punches as he's trying to catch his breath. Trying to pull guard, but doesn't get there with the attempt. Sanchez fires away with some punches. They're not thrown with any great force, though. Looking to catch his breath. Sanchez again content just throw a couple punches to the body. Trying to transition the guard, but that's not happening. There's some knees just above the hip there. Keeps him guessing a few quick strikes. There's some more knee strikes to the ribs. As Sanchez is content to throw a couple punches to the body. So Big John loves keeping these guys down there. As we're at halfway point, finally he stands him up. As Shields right back into the clinch, of course, trying to muscle him against the ropes. Sanchez out-wrestles him, though. It's not a great sign for Jake Shields. There's another knee strike to the body. Another one there. Looking to muscle him against the ropes. He does so. Looking for going down low and grab both his opponent's legs. Another takedown. Sanchez is just going to get this one. That is complete domination here. As Shields is trying to get a double underhook, but Sanchez is able to get some control before that can be applied. As there's some elbows now, but doesn't land anything significant. As attack does see Sanchez gets pushed back, though, so now he's standing above him. Let's see what he does as Shields watches Sanchez come in and get a down position in the ground. As he attains side control of that, that's crazy. Looking for a knee strike to the ribs. Looking to get mount now, and they scramble now as Sanchez almost gets it, but Shields bucks his hips. A scramble ends up in Sanchez grabbing Shields and showing up against the ropes here. Looking for another takedown. Shields stops that one, though, and now he's got a single leg, though. That is not good. As Wiley ends up pulling his leg free. Way to go, Jake Shields. As they come together in a clinch. Sanchez is the aggressor and gets a good position in the clinch. Trying to push up against the ropes. Doesn't let himself be driven back, though, as Jake Shields is able to stand his ground. Trying to push him against the ropes. He does so. Couldn't see anything what Jake was going to do. But, great round for Diego Sanchez. Basically did a whole lot compared to Jake Shields. He didn't land a strike, didn't land a takedown. He was just surviving there. There's a large bruise on the side of Jake Shields. He may have cracked a rib. That's not good. Definitely going to affect the breathing here. He's still got 2 more rounds. There's a right jab, but Shields avoids the big left. There's a right jab and another big left that misses. As seeing his opponent about to shoot in, Shields times it well and moves in to start the clinch. Trying to wrestle back, trying to wrestle Sanchez backwards against the ropes, but it's not happening. It ends up being out-wrestled as well. Now Sanchez is looking to do the same thing he does. Looking to go low and grab both legs. He does so, and he's got side control. This is just too easy for Diego Sanchez here as he uses the knee just above the hip again. Halfway point. Would love to see Diego try to finish him, but he's just kneeing the shit out of him at this rate. Some more knees, some lefts to the body. Or maybe Shields' corner, like those in the towel or something. I know that's not like an MMA thing to do, but fucking Christ. He is getting mauled here. As our third round, let's see what happens. 1-2, but Shields was equal to it. Shields losing fast and clinches with him. Looking to muscle up against the ropes. He can't do it, though. Ends up being out-wrestled. Muscles up against the ropes. Looking to go low and grab both opponent's legs. Somehow Shields keeps a good solid base there. Doesn't stop at that time, though. There's a few weak-looking punches as he decides on his next move. There's a double underhook and keeps Sanchez from launching any attacks, trying to pass the guard. Tries to counter the pass attempt, and they find himself scrambling for position. Halfway point, Shields scrambles to his feet, but Sanchez immediately drives him against the ropes. Looking to go low and grab both his legs. Look at that, as Shields getting slammed down, ending up on his hands and knees with Sanchez on top of him. Shields scrambles back to his feet. Sanchez is just now slowing down. That's pretty crazy. The two fighters come together and clinch. Get good position in the clinch, trying to muscle him against the ropes. He does so, and oh no, actually, he isn't going anywhere though. Rather, never mind. As there's some knee strikes again, as he to the side of the stomach, trying to muscle against the ropes. He can't do it though. As Jake Shields is somehow hanging on. Again, trying to use his wrestling, can't do it though. Ends up being out wrestled, and that's the end of the round. Yeah, and all Diego Sanchez. I mean, Jake Shields didn't land a single strike, didn't do anything, just got his ass kicked for 20 minutes. As Diego Sanchez getting the win there. As 13-2, 9-10, or 9-8 rather for Jake Shields. I don't know why I was 19-8 for Jake Shields. As Diego Sanchez thanks everyone connected to Extreme Couture for helping him prepare for the fight. His sponsor supporting him financially. And never asked you to be interested in fight next year. Replies, but Jason Von Flue better get prepared. He's coming for him. That would be a pretty fun fight. As Diego Sanchez provided to be a charismatic interviewee. So our co-main, Forrest Griffin, taking on Omar Solioff, 13-2, 16-3. Can the kickboxer survive against the well-rounded and absolute unit of Forrest Griffin? I do not think so. As Red Devil Sport, Roof Sport, Forrest Griffin, minus 400. Yeah, I mean, I don't see Omar surviving this one. Mark Guards, the referee, ringside judges. Griffin is just significantly bigger, as he's even more than what he weighed in, obviously, fighting more like a light heavyweight weight. As fight begins, there's a 1-2. Griffin was eager to it, though. Takes a chance. It grabs him into a clinch. Knee strike to the body. Trying to push him against the ropes. He does so. Looking for the Muay Thai clinch. He's got it. There's some knee strikes to the ribs, but lack power. Trying to wrestle free of the clinch, but he can't. Blocks a strike. Still can't get free. But there's a vicious knee to the ribs again. Looking for that knee to the face, as they do get out of the clinch, though, to stall off, as Stephen Amar can do as he's coming forward. Those are kind of left, but doesn't connect, though. As, wow, there's two jabs and then catches Griffin with the right hook. That's a great job there. As a jab hits home from Omar. There's a right hook to the body. Look at this. Now Griffin's on the defense. There's a tentative jab. Omar comes in fast with 3 quick punches, lands one of them, then catches him with a right hook to the body. Some more body shots as their left hand and a right to the body. Second half of the round is Omar's really looking confident now, looking to short the range as well, as jab is wide. It lands the right hand, though. Quick 1-2, doesn't land either blow. That's going to give Griffin the chance to grab him over in a clinch. So looking for that Muay Thai clinch again. He's got it. There's a vicious knee to the ribs yet again. Maintains it, besides, even though he misses the knee strike. Looking for it again. He's got it, but it's got, doesn't have much power behind it. Would love, again, to see a knee to the face. But again, just keep on kneeing him in the chest. Not much power behind it, though. Keeps control despite missing the knee strike, and now he's just going to release some changing tactics there as Forrest. As he gets caught with a right head kick, though, after he can't connect the sub strikes. Combo ends with a spinning back kick, fails to land from Omar. And even worse, he even got caught in that last kick. Looking for the takedown. He's got it, too. He's got side control. He almost gets side control, rather, but he has to settle for half guard, rather. As Griffin pounds away on Omar. Can't land a significant strike, though. Trying to sweep him, but that's not happening. Scramble begins, though, after, because Omar was ready for the pass. As Omar's left under north-south control of Forrest Griffin, though. There's a knee strike to the side of the head. Jesus Christ. Trying to scramble out of underneath of Griffin, but it is held firmly in place. Some elbows, just landing them to end out the round. Yeah, I mean, Omar did a pretty good job standing, though. I'll give him that. Got outstruck, though. Couple of vicious knees in the body and in the chest. I am surprised how well he's gone, though, as far as in this first round. I think he's got a lot to work with, though. I think just one big strike might end it for him. And Omar, he's just got to keep it going. As a huge purple bruise, though, from the rib area there. I mean, it's going to affect his breathing for sure. Second round, Omar hits a left jab and hits Griffin with a leg kick. 2 fighters engage with strikes. Nothing significant lands, though. Yeah, Omar's starting to breathe a little heavier now. Steps forward and strike exchange begins. There's a counter left. Doesn't connect it, though. As he connects the jab and misses the big head kick that follows. Omar confidently comes in closer. There's a jab while backing away as Forrest. Fails the venomous jab and hits a high right head kick to the side of the head, and there's a gash underneath the eye as Omar comes forward, looking to step into the pocket now. Doesn't trouble the combination ending with low kicks to the legs. Yeah, I mean, he's fucked. Omar is fucked. You can definitely tell he's not in fight shape, especially after those knees to the ribs. I mean, that doesn't matter who you are. You could be a machine cardio-wise. You get some busted up ribs, and just your whole airway is going to be fucked up. You know, it's going to be hard to get the air going into the lungs. It's going to suck. As Omar finds a good angle, lands a nice 1-2. There's a left hand from Forrest Griffin. Punch from Omar fails to land. 1-2 of Griffin was equal to it. Doesn't have much left in the tank already. I mean, we still got halfway in this round and a whole last third. So Mark comes forward, walking down Griffin. There's a counter jab. Lands a left jab and misses a vicious right as he's just shattered. Just falls into a clinch. Looking for a Muay Thai clinch again. Another knee to the chest. Not much power behind it. Keeps control despite missing the knee. Another knee to the ribs. Just he's not going to have much power behind it like he did in the first. Well, I say that. And then he finally, right in the face, the big knee strike out of the Muay Thai clinch and knocks him out cold. Finally, he does it as he ends it right before the end of the second. As Forrest Griffin, 14-2. Marcel Leoff, 16-4. Did a lot better than I assumed he would, though. I'll give him that. But just Forrest had a great game plan, and yeah, I mean, you're not stopping him. As Forrest Griffin thanks everyone connected to Roof Sport for having him prepare for the fight. His sponsor supporting him financially. And naming a local club, Forrest Griffin invites everyone along to his post-show winning party to celebrate with him. As Forrest Griffin gave a good account of himself here. So our main event, Joe Daddy Stevenson taking on the prodigy BJ Penn. 17-4, 15-3. Can the Hawaii native get the win in Hawaii at American Bushido 18 in this main event? We shall see. 5'7", 161, 5'9", 161, 29-27. Death Clutch Gym, BJ Penn's MMA. Plus 190 for BJ Penn. Minus 250 for Joe Stevenson. Both guys are looking to get back into the higher echelon of the lightweight division. They could desperately use a win. As referee Mark Goddard, ringside judges, roar from the crowd as BJ Penn enters. He's from around there. As fight begins, moving around, Stevenson looking for the opening he needs to, looking for an opening without getting hit coming in. Punch from Penn fails to land, and that's going to give him that perfect opportunity to try and take him down. He's got the big takedown. He's got side control too. Just go throw a couple punches to the body. Looking for an E-bar. That would have been crazy. As tries to move the guard, but Stevenson doesn't allow it. Fires off a few punches. He's trying to catch his breath. Wow, already Mark Goddard's going to stand him back up. That's crazy. It throws two quick punches, doesn't hit either of them, and now Stevenson's seizing that chance to grab him to a clinch. Looking to take him down again, but he maintains a good solid base. Looking for it a second time. He's got it. 2 for 3 on takedowns. Stevenson throws a couple punches deciding to keep him guessing. There's a few strikes clear, slowing things down so he can think. As he just doesn't let Penn pull him in close to be smothered. He's very wary of the submission threat, keeping very tight to Penn, preparing him just short strikes. Stevenson blocks Penn as he tries to get up and scramble. Fires off some punches again, throwing in great force. Gets pushed back thanks to butterfly guard, and Penn quickly scrambles. Stevenson's too quick, though, and he grabs side control before Penn can get up, and they look for Kimura. Penn defends that well. Takes the opportunity and manages to pull half guard. Throws a few weak-looking punches, he decides his next move, and another scramble begins. As looks ready to try and scramble, but Stevenson is quick to move to prevent that. Stevenson fires off some punches, throwing in great force. Feels Penn prepare to scramble again. Doesn't make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, Joe Stevenson has been dominating BJ Penn so far. Trying to pass the half guard. He passes it, but Penn starts to scramble. As they scramble, Stevenson sees an opportunity, dives for the leg. Ends up on his back with Penn in side control. That might have been a tactical error there. We'll see what happens with BJ Penn on top. There's a knee strike to the ribs. And, I'm just waiting, though. Uses that fact that Penn is momentarily off balance, and the scramble begins. But now Penn's back on his back. And Stevenson's in side control again. There's a few red hands, takes a moment to plan ahead, tries to change his guard, can't manage it, though. Fires away some elbows in out the round, but nothing too crazy, just BJ Penn. He's on some deep, deep waters here. Second round, Penn throws a punch. Stevenson was equal to it, and they're coming in with a clinch. He's got the takedown. Keeps him guessing a few quick strikes. Trying to sweep the bottom. As, wow, Penn uses the elevator sweep to get Stevenson up and partially over, starting a wild scramble. Penn ends up in side control, looking for Kimura. That would have been insane if he would have got him off of that. But Stevenson defends himself well. Trying to move the guard, but Penn doesn't allow it.